Today we are going to see one more scenario, and as the title say, master init containers in Kubernetes pre- pre-deployment configuration made easy. So today we are going to see how to configure the init container in main container and then use it in the main container. So let's go through our detail. There are some applications that need to be deployed on the Kubernetes cluster, and these apps have some prerequisites which some configuration need to be changed before deploying the app container. Some of these changes cannot be made inside the image, so the DevOps team has come up with the solution to use the init container to perform this task during the deployment. Below is the sample scenario that the team is going to test first. Create a deployment name as the IC deploy data centers. Configure aspects as a replica should be one. Label app should be the IC data center. Template metadata label app should be same IC data center. The init containers should be named as the IC message data center. Use the image Ubuntu with the latest tag and use command bin bash -c and echo init data done. Welcome to the DevOps industry and write this one. The volume mount should be the name as the IC volume data center and the mount path should be IC. Main containers should be named as the IC main data center. Use the image Ubuntu with the latest tag and the command is bin bash -c and while true do cat and then sleep for 5 seconds done. The volume mount should be named as the IC volume data center and mount path should be the \IC. Volume to be named as the IC volume data center and should be the MTDIR. So whatever the scenario we have discussed above, let's make it in simple way. So here what we are going to achieve, let's first discuss that one. So in this hands-on tutorial, you learn how to use the init container in the Kubernetes to handle the pre-deployment task that can't be backed into the application image. We shall walk through the real world scenario where an init container set up the configuration file before the main application container start. You shall learn how to create the Kubernetes deployment with the init and main container. Use the mtdir volume to share the data between the container. Configure the init container for right setup and then run the main container to read and display the setup output continuously. So in this case, there is the some requirement which are not going to fulfill by the main container or main pod. Then it should be development team is going to deploy as a part of the init container, and by the help of init container, those things are going to achieve. So let's see the YAML file for the same. So first one YAML file for our deployment is API version app v1, kind is deployment and metadata name of the deployment is IC deploy data center and we are going to deploy into default namespace. Then we have a spec replica of the pod is one selector. We are going to match label with this IC data center. Template of the pod is the template metadata. Labels we have the app IC data center. Then a spec of the container we have first one is the init container. Name of init container is this and image we are going to use the Ubuntu latest and command inside the container means whatever the this is just examples means this example we are going to run as the prerequisite of the container, but you can add whatever the required for your production clusters. So here's what we are doing. We are going to use the bash and going to run one echo command, and echo command is going to print the init done. Welcome to the DevOps industry, and it's going to save into this IC news. Okay, and then volume mount, the volume mount is IC volume data center, and we are going to mount into this folder IC. Okay, then main container, we have main container name is IC main container. Image, we have the Ubuntu latest, and the command in the main container, we are going to run the base command, and then we are going to run the loop. This is infinite loop, and what is doing, whatever the init container is writing in this path is going to cat those file and going to sleep 5 seconds, and then done. It means that every 5 seconds is going to read this file continuously. Then we are going to volume mount of the init container is same, where the uh, main container is same, where the init container is mounted, and the volume name is the volume name, and volume type we have is mtdir is for temporary purpose. Once the pod is deleted, this volume is also deleted, but this volume is shared between the both container. Okay, then we are going to apply this in our production clusters. Once applied, we are going to check whether everything is running fine or not. Then we can see our pod is running fine, and then we have our cluster, then we have the everything is running, our deployment is running fine, replica set is running fine. And once you check the log of the our container, it will be up every 5 seconds, it will be print init done, welcome to the DevOps industry, repeating every 5 seconds. Okay, so let's see how these things we are going to achieve in our production cluster. So let's go to our production cluster. This is our production cluster, and let's copy and paste our YAML file. So our YAML file we can copy from the our blog link, and blog link I will be give in the resource part of this video. Just copied it. So this is the YAML file I have copied, and let's go to the production cluster, create one file. Let's say vi.yaml .yaml yml. Then let's paste it whatever we have copied. Now let's save it, wq. Now let's apply it, qctl apply -f pod.yml. So we can see our deployment is created. Now let's see qctl get all. So we can see our pod is running fine. We can see the service is created. We can see the deployment is created successfully, and replica set is also created. Okay, now let's check the log of the pod, whether whatever we have given inside the container, init container, whether it's printing in main container or not. So command to check, we have the kubectl log here. Just need to change the container name. So let's see. So this is our command. So just copied it, just paste it. Then here you need to change the pod name. This is our pod name. So copy the pod name. So we have copied the pod name. Now let's here change the pod name with our pod name, current pod name. Now press enter. So we can see every 5 seconds is printing the message. Means whatever we configure inside the init container, same are printing into the main containers. Thank you. Happy learning. See you in the next video.